So, my message today is, as a Christian all my life, and then also having been deeply trained in Tantra and sacred sexuality, I'm very aware how the two don't usually come together or mingle, and they both desperately need each other. So, I'd like to comment on something because I was really disturbed when I went to a Christian event and they were teaching the women to abstain from even taking care of themselves as far as sexually and just self pleasuring. And I was like, oh my God, you guys are totally setting them up for failure. So, I'm so trained in the field and, 10 years experience of working with couples and individuals. I just couldn't believe it. So, and I, went through my own process when I was in college, is I'm sure every Christian does, where you're like, wait a minute, they're telling me not to engage at all. So basically, I end up just shutting down my body and it goes dormant, and I'm trying to pretend like I'm not a sexual being. It's like trying to pretend like you don't have to sleep or eat to live. It is one of the basic needs that we have is sexual expression. It's just having the healthy, positive way to do that. But you can't just shut it down and act like it's not there. That will set you up for failure. So, to me, it is the saving grace that we can take care of ourselves sexually by self pleasure. And it's really a practice of self love, because you have to bond with yourself before you can really bond with anyone else. And if you don't have that connection in place where you're able to take care of yourself and have a self love practice like that, and you're just trying to either shut it down or you're expecting other people to meet that need for you, which means you can't just do it on your own, then very dangerous. So, as a Christian, there's nothing in the Bible that says to shut down your sexuality and ignore it like it doesn't exist. I mean, God created us this way. And the only saving grace that's, like the major thing is to be able to take care of yourself. Because if you're able to release yourself, have that self love connection, so that you don't fall into the hands of other people and end up having like one night stands or feeling very frustrated. I've seen people like act like they were a chicken with their head cut off because they're so wired because they think they're not supposed to touch themselves. And it was so sad for me to witness. My spirit just was so like, oh my God, this is really a recipe for failure. And I know I went through it myself. Like I said, I would try to shut myself down, and I would go through these things where it would eventually needed to come out, and it would kind of like culminate. And it usually ended up being me connecting with a guy I was dating, and then feeling guilty about it afterwards. So that's not. I basically realized just through logic that that's not the way to go. You can't just tell people to act like they don't have a sexual side of themselves. They need to be able to take care of themselves while they're single and have that connection be strong even before they go into a partnership. Because I've met people who didn't have that and they were just feeling guilty about it and everything. And it's like, no, that needs to be a self love connection that you have, that's in place, because otherwise you're going to just keep looking outside yourself for someone to bring it to you. And so, anyway, that's a really important concept that Christians need to understand and just be set free with, that knowledge, because there's way more to sexuality than most people realize. It's very fascinating, and every culture has its ancient wisdom about it that I've studied. And I counsel people about it over the phone and in person, and there's just usually, people don't realize you can upgrade that area of your life too once you are in partnership, or even if you're not. But anyway, I just wanted to set anybody free who thinks that the answer is just to shut down and act like they don't have any needs in that area, because that basically leads to things like the Catholic Church having a pedophilia problem. They're also related, the church is, Catholic Church is also related to the whole human trafficking thing, which most people don't know, because it comes out sideways and totally dysfunctional if you're denying your sexuality, which is a really important part of your being and keeps your energy flowing, keeps your chakras activated, and is actually a path toward enlightenment if you use it in such a spiritual, conscious way, and if you know how to, which the Magdalena manuscripts talk about. It's a book that you can order from Amazon, among other books. So, anyway, blessings, and hopefully this will set you free in case you've been struggling with that.